Well, hello and welcome to Assay TV. Today we're going to hear from Idaho champion gold mines, and I'm delighted to welcome their president and CEO, Jonathan Buick, who is joining me from Toronto today. Jonathan, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Leo. Thank you for having me today.
Your projects are based up in Idaho in the US. Tell us, Idaho is a mining jurisdiction. What's
Sure.
it like to do business up there?
We've been very fortunate. We think Idaho is actually probably the best place in North America to be operating in. Now ranked 8th in the world by the Fraser Institute, 3rd in North America. Now it ranks every province in Canada. Very supportive government and agencies. You got a governor there that's really been pounding on the table about job creation and opportunity, speaking at different mining conferences around North America. During the COVID pandemic, they actually deemed mining and exploration essential services because of the importance of the role for mining. It's a continuous mining state since the 1860s. So there's a strong workforce available. And in addition to that, it's as a state sits below British Columbia and above Nevada. And it's a man-made border, and the resources don't stop at that border. So we think it's a jewelry box of opportunity.
Absolutely, and you've been able to carry on as normal as you can through the pandemic.
Obviously, a lot more protocols involved, and certainly it was the first time in my career I've had to ask a drill contractor what their COVID policies are in terms of 6 feet spacing, 1 man per truck type of thing. But yes, we actually were quite aggressive in the last 6 months. We did 3 acquisitions and a lease option, and then increased our land package through staking at Champaign. So we now have a camp, because we think it's a camp, not a project. So we now control 10 square miles or 16 square kilometers. So we've been fortunate that while our colleagues were told tools down, go home, we were able to stay busy and active in the field.
So Jonathan, your flagship project, or you have 2 projects in fact, but one of them is the Banner project. Tell us a little bit about what you've got there. You did some drilling started drilling there in 2018.
Correct. Yeah. So the Banner is a brand new discovery. It was we did a 5,300 meter program there in 2018. Our discovery zone there is 500 meters north-south by 200 meters east-west. Elk City is a known gold camp. It's part of the Ore Grande Shear Zone structure, which goes through central Idaho. 5 miles south of us is Idaho's newest gold mine, which tells us that if we can increase and improve up enough ounces, permit is possible to allow us to build a mine. We just completed this week, we announced the completion of a 2,200 meter program. We drilled the additional 13 holes, drilling to the northeast of the discovery zone. We have a 2.7 kilometer strike to the north, and we're continuing to follow that and plot that forward.
And those drill cores are in the labs right now being assayed. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So we've shipped the core like everybody else. Everybody funded at once. We're all been a part of a nuclear winter as a resource game for the last decade. Everybody seemed to fund together, went into the field together. Now all the assays are in the lab together. We're expecting to actually see the first results of the Banner early next week. It's been 7 weeks in the lab for the first set, so hopefully that's going to start to come back out. But we expect to see regular news flow on the drill holes out of Banner as we go forward.
Fantastic. So you're all slightly on the edge of your seats at the moment, waiting for those results to come back. Yeah.
Absolutely. It visually looks the same, but until we get the assays, we have no idea what we have, because it's not the type of core where you see visible gold. Absolutely.
But last year, I believe you did some metallurgy on the 2018 discovery. What were you finding there in terms of the mineralization and what that might mean for the future mine you might build there?
So we sent a 50 kilo bulk sample. There was a representation across the entire drill program. So there was some from the north, central, and south. We got the results back at 100 mesh and 200 mesh. Were certainly in line or better than our peers. 92.6 and 93 recoveries on the gold. So certainly everything about the metallurgy said keep drilling. Nothing to be scared about. So we'll continue to send bulk samples in as we go through each program and each phase of the program. But certainly everything about the met work said we're in a good spot.
Fantastic. And you're fully funded for this drilling program, yeah?
Correct. Yeah. So we had a bought deal prospectus offering. So it's already free trading financing that we closed through Beacon Securities on July 30th. We raised $8.1 million. With the programs both at Banner and Champaign combined is $3.2 million US. We have the challenge of raising in Canadian but spending in American, so we get punished on the currency exchange rate out of the gate. but certainly well funded. We also have an additional $4 million of in-the-money warrants held by management and insiders and repeat shareholders. And then as a part of that financing, there's another $6 million available at 45 cents. So with the current share price, we see a reason to be positive in terms of opportunity for new investors to come in and take a position in the name. Certainly I had a news flow on the drill results, but as we look at over the next 18 months, we're certainly well funded at both projects. And when we look at our treasury, we actually see ourselves having a $17 million war chest, not the 7 that's in the bank right now.
Plenty of firepower. You've mentioned that you've got another project, the Champagne project. That was a past producing mine, I believe.
Correct. So Champagne is over near Arco in Buick County. It was a producer. It was one of the first open pit heap leaches in the Pacific Northwest. Bema Gold had that in production from 89 to 92. We were able to pick that up ourselves. We staked that in February of 2018. Approached Kinross to get the data. We bought that in March of this year. So we were fortunate, as I said earlier, the governor had deemed us essential service, so we were able to stay busy in the field. We consolidated that camp. We did 3 acquisitions and a lease option to consolidate our first part of the land package, and then staked another 184 claims. So we now have 10 square miles. What was appealing to us is we felt confident before we got the information from Kinross that there was still an oxide cap remaining. But once we got the data, we realized there was a huge opportunity, not only in the oxide cap at the mine itself, but also at depth. Bema never drilled below 100 meters. So what we've done now is we initiated a 5,000 meter program in August. Once we closed the financing, started with an RC rig. We supplemented that 5 weeks ago, adding a core rig. And on Tuesday of this week, we announced bringing in a second core rig. So we now have 2 core rigs moving. We're drilling 500 meter plus holes, looking to see if we can touch an ore body. We're pretty comfortable in what we're seeing visually. We think there is an opportunity to see something at depth. We believe we're on a collapsed caldera in a porphyry structure. So we think there's huge opportunity at the mine itself, but also throughout the land package now. We've done an IP program that's happening with soils, geochem, and submitting our drill permit for the bigger land package to come right back in January and keep drilling. So we'll drill till 3rd week of November this year, get all that new information in, and then look to get right back in the field first quarter.
Fantastic. And that past producing mine, when was it in production?
89 to 92. They produced about 25,000 ounces a year. What was shocking to us once we got the data from Kinross, we only ever thought this was a gold project. We never realized how much of a silver opportunity was there too. So there's a significant silver credit. If we were to run the economics based on the historic production, the silver would work out to about 20% of the economics. So we think there's a significant amount of upside that has yet to be tapped.
Absolutely. And your team, what's the background of your team in the sector?
So as a management team, we've got capital markets experience. Myself, I'm on the corporate finance side. I've raised over $400 million for other companies. This is my first time wearing the CEO hat, but certainly I've been in the junior space my whole career. My chairman's Bruce Reed, who's a geologist MBA by background, was a research analyst and Bay Street banker. I have another director who's a securities lawyer out of Toronto, Paul Fornazzari. And then our 2 most recent appointments are Greg Schifrin and Patrick Highsmith, both American, both geologists. Greg's based in Sandpoint, Idaho. He has been instrumental and crucial for us in our success in the last 6 months. I consider him my right hand and partner. Without him, because of COVID not being able to travel, without him being boots on the ground, managing the government agencies, the families that we were negotiating with, as well as staffing up and bulking up 2 drill programs, I don't know where we'd be without Greg. Patrick is our most recent appointment. He came onto the board in August. He just finished a 2-year stint with Fortescue in Australia. He's now back in Denver. I asked Patrick to join the board from his time when he was at Newmont. He was responsible for joint ventures into the juniors. So I've asked Patrick to take care and manage our database in terms of how we present and put together our information. We believe we have 2 world-class opportunities. We believe if we manage this process right, we have 2 projects that can lead to a mining decision. And it's about how we manage that data. And we're looking to show the mid-cap and large-cap gold companies that have already started to approach us that we have the skill set to do that.
And there's a lot of other activity in the area in Idaho. Some of the big names up there.
Yeah, it's somewhat in a forgotten jurisdiction. It's a continuous mining state since the 1860s. The juniors this year have raised $220 million, which is great for our industry. Literally today, I'll be speaking at the Idaho Mining Association virtually at their conference, their annual conference. But certainly recent activity is Integra Integra came in, they sold Lamac in Quebec, couldn't win anywhere in the world. They came in about a project in Idaho, which certainly validated our thesis as a great place to be. You have Liberty Gold at the Black Pine down in the southeast part of the state, and then Revival Gold with the Bear Track. They're now underway with a PEA. So lots of activity in the field. It's a small community. We look out for each other. Lots of conversations between us because we want to make sure we're good corporate stewards and community citizens. So it's a very dynamic opportunity right now as a state.
Fantastic. And as you mentioned at the beginning, you got British Columbia to the north of you and Nevada to the south of you. So it certainly sounds very promising. Well, that's a fascinating little sort of quick look at the company there. You've obviously got a lot of work on your hands at the moment, and a lot of exciting results to come out over the next few weeks. Great for you to join us today, and best of luck as those results come out.
Well, thank you for having us here today, or for having me here today. Look forward to providing an update as we move the projects forward. But certainly now triple listed, Canada, US, and Frankfurt, and lots of news to come, and hopefully worthy of investment.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Leo. Be well, be safe.